Solana Summer is here. Today we'll break it down for you, get into some details that you do not want to miss. If you are in Solana today, this is the show for you. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into the Paul Barron Show. Let's get into it today. I do want to thank our sponsor. That's Tangem. Now this is cool because you can actually get a red, white, and blue card. Now you can do it right there. Just go over and use our link. This is where you can start your self-custody journey. If you guys have not got into self-custody, the first thing I would do, scrap the ledger, get into Tangem. It is much easier to use. No more software updates. All these problems that we deal with in these other hardware wallets, this is the one to check out. Use our link down below to get some additional discounts and get going. Let's go over to a couple of things right now. You guys probably were not aware of what Vlad said at the Robinhood event and why it is so important. This was kind of I feel it was almost like brushed over, and that was the staking feature of both Solana and ETH in the Robinhood app. Right now, you're gaining as much as 7.43% APY by just staking your SOL. Now, I've tried this. It's real. The key here is, of course, the devil in the details, and that is what's the process of unstaking, the speed in which it takes to get done. They're claiming right now about 48 hours to get your staking in play. We'll give you some updates as to how long it would take to unstake. Point being, though, guys, 7.5% almost. That is a big comparison when you look at some of the other major staking platforms out there, including Nansen, Spectrum staking. You can kind of see most of these are hovering around that 7.5 to 7.6 rate, but it is different because this, of course, is Robinhood. And I think we're going to see maybe a whole new era of people that are trading within the Robinhood accounts and within the app moving into staking. And if you compare this to Jito, which is really the king of Solana staking, this is the key factor. Now, there's two things with Jito that you can do. One, of course, yes, you can get 7.14, but the cool aspect of Jito is that you can take that and utilize JSOL into other aspects of DeFi, meaning you can take those tokens, go out there and earn other capacities within the DeFi area. Now, the problem with that is that when you do go into Jito Sol and stake there, you're creating a taxable event because it actually sells your Solana and repopulates it as Jito Sol. So if you're not interested in a taxable event, you're only interested in getting the rewards, maybe this is the route for you to go into some of these kind of plain wrapper staking, which staking at this level right now is pretty significant. One of the key things also that was announced by Robinhood was the EU tokenized stocks. Of course, Robinhood was going head-to-head now with Solana. Solana was ready. And the interesting thing here, when you look at what this means we could see a new era of degen. Is that now maybe not the meme coins, we could actually see this with real stocks. So all this is happening now, and it's no KYC. So this is another factor that plays into this. One of the biggest things I think that we're going to see around the Solana ecosystem, the other thing that you got to look at is even, traditional finance people are going to take a look at this and go, hey, wait a minute, I can get yield on this and do it this way. Right there is a breakdown of the S&P, Apple, all of these different traditional stocks, including NVIDIA, Coinbase, etc. Point being is that this could open up another area of investors that have never tried anything in the DeFi ecosystem, but because it sucks, it could change the narrative in a big way. One of the big things that happens here with this new tokenized stock, land rush is the fact that you're going to have pretty much 24/7, or at least 24/7 if you think about this, because right now you can do this on Bybit right there. So if you're wanting to trade Google or Tesla, etc., all of this is now going to see tokenized US equities over on Bybit. So check that one out. That's another big advantage. So Solana Summer is here, and of course this just shows you some of the growth right here on xStocks. Look at the amount of growth in users right there, almost 10,000. Then you take a look at the hot trades right now, the S&P, Tesla holding in, even when you look at this, NVIDIA. So the point being, guys, we're going to see a very interesting narrative starting to play out. But the thing that you have to kind of keep an eye on right now is how all of this is going to connect. Raydium is going to be the place for you to be able to do this. So LP rewards are going to be available with everything from Tesla, NVIDIA, Circle, you name it. This is a place, so if you haven't checked out Raydium and what they're doing right now, a lot of acceleration and people trying to draw in liquidity. If you look at the amount of liquidity pools and what they're paying in terms of APR, these are insane, guys. These are very, very high in comparison to what we've seen out there in the past. So another reason why Solana definitely going to be winning this one. All right, so in Vlad's presentation the other day, private companies was kind of the focus here, and I'll explain this a little bit, but basically this was OpenAI and SpaceX. This is going to push a lot in the way of exploding in a lot of these platforms, including Camino, Jito, Jupiter, etc. So expect a lot of fireworks this summer around this. I want to go to a clip with Vlad where he explains a little bit more. Take a look.
There can only be so many shares of OpenAI and SpaceX on the market.
Correct.
But there can't be that many. I could imagine the hype behind this growing quite large, and then all of a sudden there being a supply shortage to create a premium on the shares. Do you have enough of those shares to actually supply to the market that has the demand for them?
So you're right. The focus now is on making sure we can get them tradable 24/7. I think that'll be a big technology unlock. There was one technical glitch, which you probably noticed.
Oh, the slow connectivity?
Yeah. So what happened was so many people were downloading the app and trying to get the stock tokens that it brought down the network. Yeah, but it turned out everything worked.
All right, so you can kind of hear what happened there. Other areas that are going to happen this summer is, guess what? Seeker is going to be shipping August 4th. This would be a big deal because and by the way, if you guys have not confirmed your shipping address and you ordered one of these, get in there and do that now, because this is something that I think a lot of people may not be aware. I don't know why they have that feature in there, but yes, go click that link right there. So just go to Solana Mobile on X, you'll see it in there. But what this means is we could see a new evolution in mobile compute, and also a new evolution in how mobile stock trading and transactions are being done. All of this now being built around AI. Now, Apple, you would think, is going to be the king of the hill, right? Well, we already know they have already failed. Siri is pretty much a unfortunate sideline of Apple, and this is kind of getting into the whole idea of them now jumping into Anthropic, OpenAI models to try to catch up in the space. Samsung accelerating. We've already seen a variety of different platforms that are moving much faster. I think this is going to play out in what we're going to see in terms of where the talent is going to be going. And whether you look at what is happening with Solana Seeker, you look at Apple, they're facing a lot of talent turmoil right now. Their researchers departing. Remember who they placed the new Siri, or the old Siri guy, was with the Apple Vision guy, which was already a train wreck. So they went from semi-okay to not okay for maybe the most important thing that Apple could be doing in the future. And this is an example of what that future might exist of. And that is, when you look at agentic AI, the ability to basically tell your phone to go do something. Can you go buy $10 worth of Tesla? That's just a good example of it right there. And I think the point being is this is going to replace almost everything in the way that people trade. And Apple is a missing big link. So there's a lot happening in the mobile space, and I think a lot of these apps and dApps that are going to play out within the Solana Seeker phone will be very interesting, especially as we start to unveil those when the item ships. All right, so when they launch this, the phone, when they roll out, and this is just a little over 30 days away, you're going to start seeing a lot of acceleration, I think, on airdrops. This is just showing the Wallet Connect. And if you look further into this with Phygitals, world's largest RWA airdrop, all this could get into, think of this in other ways around RWAs. This, of course, is built around the Pokemon asset, and it's going into both Solana and ETH through a lot of the usual suspects around the NFT collection, Cyberkongs, Azuki, Claynosaurs, etc. All of these available, and even some of the meme coins. So you can go over to Phygitals right now, get your own Pokemon card if you need to. So if you have one of those assets, boom, there you go. Another collectible out there. Other thing is with Solana's ETF, I think we'll get in institutional capital, which is going to create more awareness around what's going on with Solana and really around the idea of this ecosystem. Now, the ETF approval by July 31st, 100%, pretty much done. So be on the lookout for that as well. Listen, guys, we're going to be covering through the summer. We'll give you a full update on the Seeker when it arrives in August. And I think we're going to see a lot of new ecosystems out there. Let me know what you guys are doing within the Solana ecosystem in the comments down below. If you are not following us out there on X, you can do that. It's just @Paul Barron. And also, we'll catch you next time right here on The Paul Barron Show.